First time the Pitt Panthers have started 3-0 since Jeff Capel's first season with the program back in 2018. And tonight, Blake Hinson and the Panthers look to stay unbeaten by hosting the Jacksonville Dolphins. Hi everybody, welcome inside the Peterson Event Center. Alongside a Big East champion, Julius Page, I'm Jason Earl. And Julius, these Pitt Panther fans just can't get enough of the freshman, Bub Carrington.
Yes, sir. Carrington is coming out here and showing the Pitt fans that he's not just a one-hit wonder. Starting with a triple-double in his first game, he's showing in Game 4, can he come out here and put up the numbers again? Yeah,
Jeff Capel wants to see Carrington continue that as they face tougher opponents. For Jacksonville, well, the name is fitting for Bryce Workman. He's been grinding for the Dolphins this season.
If Jacksonville want to come into Pittsburgh and get a win, Bryce is going to have to do just that. Work, man, put it in.
Workman coming off a missed last season due to a knee, and grateful to be back out on the floor for Jacksonville. He makes his 30th career start here tonight. Panthers in the home whites, Jacksonville in the black with the neon green trim. And the Dolphins win the tip. We're underway from Oakland. Inside the Peterson Event Center, Robert McCray, the fifth, steering the offense, wearing number 13 for the Dolphins. He's a transfer from Wake Forest. Ishmael Leggett guarding the ball here. And pass inside, kick back out to Jazzy Powell. Leggett forces a miss. Good defense by the Rhode Island transfer in the Panthers setup shot. Freshman Bub Carrington has impressed a lot of people in his first 3 games. 18 points and a triple-double in his debut. 18 points at least in each of his first 3 games, and really doing an excellent job making a quick first impression for Panther fans.
Doing it in a poised way, not pressed. He doesn't play like a freshman, he plays like one of the older guys.
Still scoreless through a few possessions here at the Pete. Now Leggett trying to drive on Workman, and too much contact as Leggett draws the foul, the first Jacksonville foul of the night.
I'll tell you one thing, Jacksonville is not going to come out backing down against this Panther team. Even in the warm-ups, they were making noise, showing that we are not going to come out and lay down for you.
Panthers now on a 9-game home winning streak. Have to go all the way back to January of last season to find their last home loss, as Ishmael Leggett gets the Panthers on the board with the triple. Jazzy Powell wearing 10, running the point this possession for Jacksonville. Mentioned McCray, Jarius Cook, Stephon Payne III, and Workman rounding out the starting 5 for the Dolphins. Errant pass, Leggett gonna take advantage, goes up himself, a quick 5 for Ishmael Leggett.
Way to protect the basketball using the rim with the reverse layup, the transition, smart basketball play.
Well, Carrington has gotten a lot of the attention early, but the Rhode Island transfer Leggett has been excellent in his own right, coming off 17 Monday night against Florida Gulf Coast. Rejection by Zach Austin. Hinson fakes a deep 3, penetrates, and the flush from Hinson.
I think he got the memo, Jason. Like I said before the game at half court, Jacksonville was making a lot of noise. Looked like they were trying to get under Hinson's skin. He's not backing down from anyone.
Nothing doing offensively so far for the Dolphins. They are 0 for 4 from the field early. Hinson trying to back down McCray. Steps off him, takes the jumper and hits. 3 minutes and 15 seconds in. And the Pitt Panthers looking hot as ever. Both sides of the basketball. Zach Austin denies, and Hinson converts on the other end. Well, Julius, a quick 9-0 start for the Pitt Panthers. 5 points from Ishmael Leggett, 4 from Blake Hinson. And if the Oakland Zoo wasn't alive enough already, well, they're awake now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's what Hinson do. When he gets it going early, he's going to get everybody in a gym energized. But again, I think they poked the bear. You know, he's not a guy who would try to, start with. I really do think that he was a little more focused to start this because they were trying to get under his skin.
So Jacksonville head coach Jordan Mincy now forced to cope with a 9-0 deficit to start the game, and the Dolphins commit a foul in the Panther backcourt. Had an excellent season in his first year at the helm of the Jacksonville program, led them to 21 wins, including a 15-0 home record, went all the way to the conference championship game. But last season, bit of a different story, and he acknowledged that and said he did some reflection over the offseason after having such a successful first year. When you win a lot, you're blind to a lot of spots in your program, he said, and he was able to learn a lot from more of a down season last year.
Didn't realize how important Workman was to this program until they actually missed him for the entire season last year.
Another rejection from Austin, and the Panthers working in transition with Leggett. Austin, Carrington, ball movement at its finest. Hinson fires a three, gets his own rebound, and the pull-up off target. Jacksonville still scoreless. Panthers keep the 9-point advantage. We'll take a break at the Peak. Well, there's the reigning ACC Coach of the Year. Made history for the Panthers last season in the ACC. Brought them back to what many of the fans surrounding this program knew it could be. Jeff Capel getting them to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2016. And one thing he's talked about with this group in 2023 is that there are a lot of similarities between last year's team and this one, just with the team chemistry. He mentioned that he just likes being around his team, and it was the same way last year. They like each other, it's genuine, and there's a great bond among everyone on the squad.
Everybody on the same page. It's a great feeling to be around. One goal, and that's just the win. That's all you're looking for, is a team that respects that.
Austin with another block. Hinson racing the other way, and he's fouled.
Way to push it in transition after a block. Why play slow after your guy make a play? Steal, block, what have you, long rebounds, get out in transition, and they have guys that can get it. Leggett gets it, look up, Hinson can handle it. It's going to be tough to stop this, this team when they're working on defense, getting stops and turning to easy points and getting to the free throw line.
So, Julius, we are 4 minutes and 50 seconds into this game. Zach Austin has 3 blocks.
I mean, that's what a guy as athletic as he is, we know that he can do it. We're just waiting for him to get that 3-ball to start falling.
Yeah, he can do that too. Great company here. Kevin Durant, Keegan Murray, a couple of guys that have had 60 and 60 seasons in the last 20 years. 3-pointers and blocks. Some excellent company for Zach Austin, who did it twice.
I'll tell you one thing. Let me be on the list with Kevin Durant. I'm taking that screenshot, and I'm all over social media with it.
Sending it to NBA teams too, right?
Everywhere.
Yep.
I'm not downplaying that ever.
So over 5 minutes in now, and Jacksonville still hasn't found a bucket. And the Panthers have just inserted one of their best defenders, Will Jeffress, with an excellent job there against Pruitt to force a miss.
And he did just that. Held his ground, kept his hands up. Show why he's the best defender on this Panther team.
And travel by Guillermo Diaz-Graham. He's also new to the contest.
And to go back to Jeffress, we talk a lot about Bub and Leggett, their offensive ability, but you need a guy that's going to come in here and do the dirty work for you It doesn't go recognized the way it does when a guy is getting buckets, but you need a guy like Jeffers that's just going to come in and lock a guy up.
Jeff Capel said he was terrific on Monday against Florida Gulf Coast, defensively, rebounding the basketball. He is one of those players, as you noted, Julius, not always going to stuff the stat sheet, but comes in and makes an impact for this Panther team as Jacksonville finally gets on the board for the first time tonight off the jumper from Jazzy Powell. 12 to shoot for the Panthers. Leggett swings to Austin. Leggett again, runner. Front rim, rebound Dolphins.
Solid defensive possession, Jacksonville.
Trying to squeeze a pass through, but Panthers get in the way of it. Carrington, scoreless so far tonight, has only taken one shot from the field. Austin squares up for a triple. In and out, Pruitt hauls the rebound and gets it to McCray.
They're being really aggressive with Carrington coming off of that screen with the hedge, making sure he can't get anything, any good looks.
And Pruitt couldn't get the left-handed shot to go. Freshman from Baltimore dishes off to Austin. And it ends up with Guillermo, who lays it in.
Just the way Austin planned it.
Got it poked out, right? And just fell into the arms of Diaz-Graham. 12-2 is the Panther lead. Just about 7 minutes in. Not sure who that pass was intended for, but the Panthers will take advantage of the turnover.
Nice penetration by Austin. Ball pops out right to your guy. Early Christmas present right there is what we call that.
That's where those long arms come in handy, right? Guillermo Diaz-Graham, the 7-foot sophomore from Spain. A critical piece for Pitt, specifically in the NCAA tournament last year. Federico missed time with an injury. Panthers relied on Guillermo Diaz-Graham to start each of 3 games of their March Madness journey last season. Mentioned that each of the twins put on about 20 pounds of weight coming into the season. Guillermo specifically said he feels faster, feels stronger, and guys can't push him around anymore. He said he jumps quicker and higher and just all around feels more powerful, in different shape coming into this season.
And I'm sure his rear end is saying thank you, because he was definitely biting the dust a lot.
And that time he's going to be glad that the dunk did roll in. Off an impressive feed from Jalen Lowe. Guillermo Diaz-Graham gets a quick 4. Jeff Capel upset that the first one wasn't called. He thought maybe Jacksonville should have received a whistle initially, but then ends up going against the Panthers. He's having a chat with Tony Chiazza. Panthers operating now with Jalen Lowe and Bub Carrington out on the floor, which we have seen through the first 3 games a few times. Lowe more of a true point guard. Carrington can be more of a combo guy when needed. Now another loose ball and another foul called against the Panthers, and it's on Jalen Lowe, who picks up 2 within the last 30 seconds, leaving Jeff Capel with no choice but to take him off the floor.
Just getting locked up with the arms, you know. It's one of those veteran plays there. This is just unfortunate. Playing hard, you take the guy legs from under him. You know, sometimes it just be that way.
Yeah, I don't know about you. I can see the call on that second one, but the first one, his arm just got caught. I don't know.
You know, they get really, you know, creative with holding on to your arm. The referee can't tell who's holding who. The offense always get the benefit of the doubt.
Guillermo grabs the ball right off the rim. Mentioned Carrington out on the floor now with Lowe stepping aside. Both of the twins, Guillermo and Jorge, out on the court as well. We'll see if that stays the case after the break. For now, it's 14-2 Panthers. Leggett and Hinson with 5 apiece. Coming back in a bit. Well, Tuesday night, Jacksonville put up 85 points. Shot really well from three-point range as well. And I asked Jordan Mincy, do you expect the offense to be that good this season? He said, well, let me get one thing straight. We are a defensive team. We pride ourselves on that, and the numbers back it up.
Yeah, and if it's one thing he's doing very well, and that's not letting Carrington get comfortable within the offense.
Mentioned Bub Carrington has had 18 or more in each of his collegiate games so far tonight. He's got no points. He's only taken one shot. So Jacksonville doing a good job so far of taking him out of the offensive picture, more so than the Panthers' previous opponents. Again, Jalen Lowe with the 2 fouls. He's the only Panther in this game that has committed a foul. They came within a 30-second span, so he will likely sit the remainder of the first half. Panthers for a moment got a poke away, and now Workman goes up against Jeffress and draws contact.
Good move, way to get him off balance. Those hands came down just enough for him to draw the foul.
That should be a good matchup to watch, Workman going against Jeffress tonight.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for Jeffress, I see him more as a perimeter defender than I do somebody who wants to get it on the block. But he's strong enough, so, you know. Pure post player. And Workman, Jeffress, we'll see. You might be onto something, Jason.
You just got to hear me out for a second.
I got you. Initially, I didn't see Jeffress as a guy who would be on a post player, but, you know, with his frame and his length and his athletic ability, I'm sure he can definitely do it.
So the 2 free throws make it 14-4. Jacksonville without a field goal, however, in the last 3.5. Carrington left wide open. Back rim, Federico able to tip it to Hinson. Leggett, Euro step, draws contact.
He is so fearless going to the basket, creative, you're using a Euro step. That's the 3rd foul that he's drawn already, a stat that goes overlooked. I mean, he's applying a lot of pressure on their defense right now.
And Jeff Capel even said that he reminds him of the guards that Pitt had when they were really, really good. And I have a feeling that means when you were playing here, Julius. But physical, ultra competitive, a really easy guy to play with. And Coach Capel appreciates the fact that he can create not only for himself, but for others as well. And through 3 games, proven that he can score, he can pass, he can rebound. Really important piece for the Panthers to add this year.
He plays with that edge and that attitude.
Leggett averaging 15.3 points coming into tonight, 7.7 boards and 4 assists. An impressive stat line on the year for the junior. Carrington takes the pull-up and one from downtown.
Chance for the 4-point play. Transition pull-up, step from deep 3. Caught him sleeping right there. If they're going to keep hedging him on a screens, he just said, I'm going to do it myself. I don't need the screen to create my shot.
And maybe he heard us talking about how he didn't have any points tonight. Decided to take matters into his own hands and can't complete the 4-point play. Panthers 3 of 5 from the line on the night, an area they certainly want to improve, have struggled in the past couple games shooting free throws. They were just 18 for 32 against Florida Gulf Coast on Monday. But a 15-point advantage a quarter of the way into this game. Hinson fires. He drills it.
With a hand in his face, and it doesn't matter. He has no conscience whatsoever. And I like every bit of it.
McCrae's step back, rims out. Carrington off the screen, up to Federico. Backing down the defender, kick out, Leggett fires, connects.
Well, first thing first, Carrington is getting real comfortable with the screen now. He's not giving it up quick. It's not making him off balance. He's finding the guys and taking on the press now. So he's finding open shooters and they're knocking it down. Earlier in the game, it looked like he was a little passive against it. Now it's like, okay, you want to be aggressive? I'll take it. I'll find my guy and I'll allow them to make plays.
Ishmael Leggett up to 10 points already tonight, 3 of 4 from the field, including a pair of triples. And you have to like the pass from Carrington on that play, Julius, to Federico, noticing the 7-inch height advantage from Federico against McCray, who was guarding him, and hits his big man in the right spot.
And he's catching it. That's something that they wanted him to work on, is being able to be effective down there in the paint, and Federico caught it, making the right play. I mean, again, this team is unselfish. They're not out here looking to hog the basketball. They understand that sharing the basketball is the best way. It's going to make them very difficult to guard.
So Jalen Lowe does re-enter for the Panthers despite the 2 fouls. And now Jeff Capel frustrated by another odd call here by the officials off the ball. Not quite sure where that one occurred, but it does go on Federico, the first for the Panther forward. Now a drive from Nyblack. Shifty move in the paint to get it to go.
Nice little floater in the lane.
And that ends an 11-0 run by the Panthers.
Dolphins come out in a little zone now. Change it up a little bit.
Lowe takes the pull-up 3. Hinson tips it back out. Austin, oh yeah!
And that's the one thing that is tough to do, is rebound when you go zone. You have to find a guy to box out. It's the main concern when you go into a zone. Austin makes them pay.
Great defense by Federico. Lay it in transition. Cross court to Hinson. They'll reset. Low drive. Had it deflected out of his hands. Now Nyblack for Jacksonville. Foul called against the Dolphins. Zach Austin, the ultimate two-way player, Julius. We've seen his defensive ability. And how about a slam, too?
He's getting the work done on the glass. Nice little pass. Find him out of place. Dunk it with authority.
A lot of Bub Carrington hype through 3 games, but Julius can't sleep on this guy right here.
Not at all. He's getting it done with a 3 setting his feet. And this is what he does best. Turn defensive plays into transition, strong, going to the basket. I mean, what can you say? A guy that can shoot the 3, get to the basket. I mean, he's just getting it done from everywhere.
Yeah, hard to believe this is just his 4th game in a Pitt Panther uniform, outscoring Jacksonville's entire team 12 minutes into this game. And Leggett, with double-figure scoring in his first 3 games with the Panthers, continues that tonight. He is the first player on the floor into double-digit points with those 10 through just over 12 minutes of tonight's action. Blake Hinson goes 2 for 2 from the line. Hinson having a night himself as the Panthers continue to pour it on here in the first half. Austin secures the rebound. Carrington moving quickly. Another pull-up three for him. He buries it. There's a lot of weapons.
A whole lot of weapons. I mean, he's just knocking the three down at such a high clip right now. It's amazing to see.
Ask Jacksonville head coach Jordan Mincy, how are you going to slow down Bub Carrington and the rest of these Panther guards? And he said, I don't know if we're going to slow him down, but we're going to try to slow him down. Important distinction there made by head coach Jordan Mincy. And so far tonight, the Panthers having no trouble on the offensive side.
I'll tell you what, Jordan Mincy, you know, game plan in the beginning worked, but it's like Carrington is evolving right in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
And then you can't, he drew up a great play from the timeout. His guy just has to knock down the shot.
Ambitious alley-oop attempt there, targeting Austin. Now Hinson. Can't get the three. Austin tips it out to Leggett. Austin fakes a few times. Finally took it, but off back rim. Turnaround jumper good for Marcus Nyblack. And he's been the leader so far offensively for the Dolphins with 6 points. Hinson, wide open three, that's good.
I would keep going back to that high screen in a row. I mean, the Panthers are going to switch that. I'll take it. Nyblack got it going. Let him keep shooting it.
Not that time. And Leggett was looking for Austin, but turned it over. Federico, rejection. Leggett, Hinson, another three.
I'm not sure if this tempo is what the Dolphins want to do.
I don't think so.
To go back and forth with this Panther team the way that they can shoot the ball and finish at the rim.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Without a doubt.
Jacksonville still looking for its first three of the night, and it won't come there as Hinson gets the board off the top of the backboard. Leggett, lob pass, Federico finishes. Well, Julius, this may seem routine at this point for the Panthers, some of these early non-conference games, but important to remember that Jeff Capel has built it into this, because it wasn't long ago Panthers were losing non-conference games to Nicholls State, St. Francis, the Citadel, and right now they've made it look easy.
For sure. It's just a testament to the players and how hard they work. As Federico get the block right there, telling the guy to use the Seinfeld reference, no soup for the you, sir. Don't come in here with that, little man. And finishing on the other end. So it's things like that, you know, bringing in a guy like Federico who can clog up the middle. Back in those days, if 2 years ago is those days, they didn't have a shot blocker and a guy that can protect the rim and finish at the rim like Federico.
And Jeff Capel has mentioned that he wants Federico to continue to work on some things offensively, but makes up for it in some ways because he is such an elite defender. Received votes for ACC Defensive Player of the Year last season as Hinson fires up another three. That's good. Hinson with 14 in the first half. And an 8-0 run by the Panthers to go up 30. Blake Hinson, hot hand for the Panthers. The senior from Florida leading the charge for Pitt. Really impossible to overstate the importance of Blake Hinson's addition to this Pitt Panther program. He's got 16 points tonight, and we're not even at halftime yet. Made 3 3-pointers. Jeff Capel said that his spirit is all over this program, and it's a huge part of why they've been able to find a resurgence here with this team. And said this summer it was cool to watch Blake Hinson find his voice in a different way. Last year, the voice, Jeff Capel said, was Jamarius Burton. And they're two very different people, but watching him and allowing him to find his leadership voice this offseason, Jeff Capel said, has been really cool to watch.
His personality is so infectious, you know, especially when he gets it going offensively. He plays with an energy and a swagger that you know, that'll bring the life out of your most quiet, humble guy. He can bring it out of anyone.
And Capel said it's been a really interesting and unique journey for Blake Hinson. Started his career at Ole Miss, got some time there, and produced well in the SEC before transferring to Iowa State. Did not play in game action for Iowa State and really got a second opportunity at his career with Pitt. Guillermo Diaz-Graham chases down the loose ball, goes up strong and converts.
Last year, that would have been a turnover.
Yeah.
You can tell he's starting to settle in and get a little more confident, not be in such a hurry, and just, you know, taking his time to make the right play.
Another foul call. Jeff Capel not happy. Oakland Zoo not happy with the ruling there. It goes as the 7th Panther foul of the night, and it gives Will Jeffress his 2nd personal. So Hinson, who already has 16 in this first half, steps back on.
I'm sure when Hinson touch it, he's going to be saying to himself, heat check. I got it going, feed me.
He's never shied away from a shot.
Never. But that's what shooters do, they shoot.
Hinson 5 for 10 from the field tonight. He took 15 shots Monday against Florida Gulf Coast, made 6 of them. Panthers up by 31 here, 3 minutes to go, first half. Here's Carrington looking for a lane. Hinson, open look here. Not that time. And out of bounds, last off Nyblack. He tried to save it, but the Panthers keep possession. Impressive 47% Pittsburgh from beyond the arc so far tonight, 7 of 15. And pass gets away from Guillermo Diaz-Graham. Nyblack goes up and slams it home.
Nice poise. Veteran play to slow down and use your body to cut the defender off. On top of the excellent defense.
So Marcus Nyblack, one of the few bright spots so far for Jacksonville. He's got 8 points on 4 of 7 shooting. Carrington left open for 3. Back iron.
Nyblack slows down to cut off Diaz-Graham.
He had to be a little worried of the chase down there, right?
Absolutely. I mean, that's a footer right there. Without doing that, he probably would have got it beat up. So yeah. That was a smart play. A little bit of a squeeze me dunk, though. You know, not one of the infamous dunks from one of their legendary alums. I bet you don't know who that is.
Who are you talking about?
D. Brown. What you know about D. Brown?
Right. Okay. Tell me. What do I need to know?
D. Brown, come on, the pump-up shoes in the dunk contest. I was a youngin' when D. Brown put that out. You know, I had to do a little bit of homework. Found out D. Brown went to Jacksonville. took me right back to my childhood when we used to act like we had the Reebok pumps on. But you know, you wasn't even thought of back then, Jason. Come on. You're a young fella. That's a good thing. It's okay, my brother. It's okay.
Exposing me in front of everybody.
No, come on. It's a good thing. You know, it's only dating me. That's what I'm doing is telling everyone how old I am now.
I'm old enough to remember you. That's good enough, right?
Playing when it wasn't HD. See, every time we bring it up, we got to bring out all of the facts. With the blouses we had on back in those days, the jersey was super baggy.
Did you have any of your ankles showing in those shorts? Or basically sweatpants, right?
Basically, might as well have been, right?
So just over 90 seconds left in the first half. Jacksonville draws the foul that time. Goes against Michael Hewitt Jr. for the Panthers. And one of those games so far, despite a 29-point lead, I think Jeff Capel may be frustrated by the frequent foul calls going against his team.
Well, that one he had to take. I think that instead of giving up the layup, go ahead and make him earn it from the line. But, you know, they're playing hard. Sometimes it just doesn't work out in your favor with the hustle. Those incidental fouls, you know, are difficult to deal with, but you got to deal with them. Dolphins going to the press, trying to change it up again.
Diaz Graham right on cue on the baseline. Got the feed and converted. Guillermo up to 9 points. He's perfect, 4 for 4 from the field.
I mean, he's just looking over. His guy has the awareness to get it to him. Nice touch and focus.
And Leggett makes it look effortless, doesn't it?
Effortless. I mean, but the Dolphins came out with the hedge early on. Went to the zone, now going to the press. I mean, I guess when you're hitting on all cylinders, the Panthers is going to be really difficult to stop these Panthers. They just don't seem to have the answer for anything right now.
Jeff Capel pleased to see the offensive contribution from Guillermo Diaz-Graham tonight. He only had 2 points on 1 of 5 shooting Monday against Florida Gulf Coast. Mentioned perfect from the field with 9 tonight for the sophomore from Spain, Guillermo Diaz-Graham. Hinson from the elbow. Diaz-Graham, the putback once again for 2. And make that 3 Panthers in double figures now. Hinson, hesitation, strong take to the cup and 1.
It's a strong move. That's a grown man move right there with the poison transition. The handle to put it on the ground. I mean, create his own shot. It's more than just a three-point shooter. He's just too big right there. What are you going to do? He's trying to get back there and figure it out, you know, but, you know, Hinson just used that big old body.
20 points in the first half. So he's averaging 19 points per game on the season, Julius, coming into tonight. And, well, we already know that average is going to go up.
Yeah, he's going for a 40-piece.
Now he's going to be like Bub Carrington was in that season opener, saying, Coach, make sure I stay in the game.
For sure.
Bub wanted the triple-double. Blake might have a chance at that 40-piece tonight.
And I think he can do it just being himself. He doesn't have to force the issue.
Yeah.
I think his teammates will look up there and see where he is and want him to, you know, reach milestones like that just because he has it going. And that's the luxury of being on an unselfish team that way. But the minute that your coach see you fishing for it, is when he's going to yank you. So you got to do it quietly. Got to do it quietly, Jason. Don't look pressed. You got to sell it within the offense.
You know, his personality, it doesn't really ever strike me as pressed. That's not what it seems like. We mentioned the difference between Jamarius Burton and him and the contrasting leadership styles that Coach Capel talked about. He said Blake is more a joking, getting everyone hyped type of way. Jamarius Burton, a little bit more serious grown man energy, and Hinson likes to have some fun. Tie up here, possession arrow pointing with the Panthers. Not much to complain about if you're Jeff Capel through the first 20 minutes here.
Not at all.
Yep. About a 10-second difference between shot and game clock here towards the end of the half. Diaz-Graham throws it away. Sabino for Jacksonville goes coast to coast. Panthers will have the last shot of the half. Freshman point guard, Jalen Lowe. Austin for three. No good, but still a 30-point lead for the Panthers, JP.
Got it done, you know, just about every facet of the game, shooting a three, defensively, attacking the basket. Can't ask for much more from Coach Capel.
21 from Blake Hinson in the first half. Guillermo Diaz-Graham with 11, Ishmael Leggett with 10, and the Panthers in full control of Jacksonville at the break as they look to improve to 4-0. Panthers up 30, headed to halftime. Blake Hinson had 18 on Monday. He's already got 21 at the half tonight in Pittsburgh. For more of what's going on around the conference, we send you to Taylor Tannenbaum and a national champion, Joe Barry.
Welcome into your ACC Network Halftime Report. I'm Taylor Tannenbaum alongside Tar Heel legend, national champion Joel Barry. Joel, it's early in the season, but we've already seen some real quality of games on the men's side of things here in the ACC. Duke comes to mind with games against Arizona, Michigan State, Virginia, Florida, the battle for Atlantis, of course. What is the importance, Joel, of scheduling these types of games early on?
You just want to see where your team is at, and you need a little bit of those favorable games, especially for your freshmen, so that they can get their feet wet and get comfortable. But you really want to have these type of games at the beginning of the season because you have to test where your team is, and that's why it is so important for teams to be able to look at, okay, how can I make my team better? What teams can we schedule so that we can have these teachable moments as we move down the road? And then when you think about getting into conference play, you want to build your resume. You want some quad 1, you want some quad 2 wins so that when you get into conference, you have teams that have those type of resumes. And that's why it's very important now with the net rankings to be able to have these big type of games. Obviously, you want to have some games that you win,
right? But
you want to be able to test your team early on in the season.
Yeah, of course. We've learned about the net rankings. We kind of have no idea how it works, but we do know if you win, it's a good thing, right?
Right.
If you win, it's a good thing. Well, we can focus on Duke because you saw some video there. They lose to Arizona, bounce back with a game against Michigan State, and in a dominant fashion. What have you learned about this Duke team?
They're just poised, and I feel like in the Arizona game, they had chances where they could go up, and they had chances where, you know, they could take that next step. And I think those were some really teachable moments for John Shire. And what did they do? They took those teachable moments and went into the Michigan State game and played unbelievable. They played very good defensively, especially in the first half when the ball wasn't going in the basket. And then second half, they took over offensively. And that's the sign of a good team. And that's how you can tell that this team is growing, because they took those moments, put them in the Michigan State game. Even when the ball wasn't going in the basket, they were still able to show up defensively. So that type of growth from one game to the next shows you that your team is taking that next step and being able to learn from those mistakes.
Of course, Duke picked as the favorite to win the ACC championship once again this year. Okay, we got a little something new in the ACC this year. We're ditching the Big Ten. We're bringing on the SEC for the ACC SEC Challenge coming up here. So when you look at the matchups that are stacked, there's some really good ones on the slate. You
really
see here,
matchups.
Which jump out to you?
I'm looking at the top right there, November 28th. I'm looking at Miami at Kentucky. Now, we just saw this. We saw Kentucky play against Kansas, and that game was very fast.
Crazy.
Miami is a team that plays very fast, so that game will be a dog race. It will be a very fast-paced, up-tempo type of game. So I'm looking for that one. Looking towards that one, and then I'm looking at Duke at Arkansas. Duke is going to Arkansas. That'll be a hard-fought game. The athleticism, the toughness that Arkansas plays with will challenge Duke. Luckily, Duke has had a chance to play against a Michigan State team that was tough as well. So I look forward to those two matchups. But this whole slate of games will just be very exciting, and I'll be just like this on my couch, on the edge of my seat, watching.
I know we saw there too. Clemson is at Alabama. It's not a team we've talked about a ton, haven't been tested that much compared to some of these other teams, but you like the makeup of this Tiger squad.
I do like the makeup of this squad, and they have been tested a little bit in a way that they haven't played really stiff competition,
right,
but they've had some close games. And early on, coaches, they kind of like having their teams have some challenging moments, and Clemson has that, but they have really a really good backcourt in Chase Hunter and Joe Girard, and they have, I can't forget to mention P.J. Hall down there in the post, one of the best big men in the country. So this team has all the pieces, and they have depth this year. And I think this is a team that is poised to make a big run here in the ACC and to get to the tournament this year.
All right, yeah, and I don't think any opposing team is going to be forgetting about P.J. Hall. If they do, there's going to be big problems for them, that's for sure. Make sure every single weekday you tune in to ACC PM with myself and Mark Packer, 4 o'clock from the basement. Enjoy it, and enjoy the second half of this game. We'll see you later.
Halftime here in Pittsburgh. It's the Dolphins of Jacksonville taking on the Pitt Panthers in the second week of the college basketball season. And a reminder, on Sunday, you can catch up on a women's college basketball doubleheader on ACC Network as Oklahoma visits Virginia at 2 Eastern, followed by Bucknell taking on Louisville at 4. Both games also available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. When we come back from break, we'll catch you up on what happened in the first half here at the Peterson Events Center in Pittsburgh. (52-22), the Panther lead as we get set to begin the second half, and the 11th 20-plus point game in the career of Blake Hinson here in his second season with the Panthers, Julius.
And he's doing it from all 3 levels, starting off attacking the basket, finishing hard at the rim. In a post poise, guy too little for him, shooting a mid-range jump shot, then getting open, moving his feet, setting his feet, taking and making the 3. I mean, it's a little bit of everything. The only thing that he didn't do was create off the dribble. Use his body, get to the basket, but he did that too, a lot. So just about everything, shoot the 3, mid-range, jab step, he did a little bit of everything.
And JP, let's remember, this is a guy who, heading into the offseason, tested the NBA draft waters, got the feedback he needed to get, decided to return to Pitt for another season, and already through 4 games starting to see improvement from him and a lot of things that NBA scouts are going to like.
Absolutely. His ability to shoot the 3, number 1. I mean, shooting is a premium on the next level. He can do that. And then the way he competes, he's not going to back down from anyone. He's going to come ready to play, come with the right attitude and energy. He's definitely a guy that can play at the next level.
Yeah, certainly seems to be the case. And Hinson at 6'8", anytime you got a 6'8" guy who can shoot the ball the way he does, he's going to have a chance to make a name for himself in the NBA. Jacksonville still looking for its first 3-pointer on the night. Rough shooting outing so far for the Dolphins. Just 7 of 29 from the field in the first half. Panthers doing just about everything right here in their 4th game of the season.
I mean, call me crazy, but I can see him definitely being a P.J. Tucker in the NBA.
Yeah. He probably shoots a little better than Tucker, too, yeah?
For sure, for sure. Might not be as good of a defender, but he can be there. He can definitely, he competes at that level.
See, those are the type of names I need from you, Julius. P.J. Tucker, I've got that one. All
okay,
right?
That's up to date. That's a little, yeah, recent.
You know, I've watched him in the NBA Finals plenty of times.
Dig a little too deep in the archives.
That's right.
Okay. Dolphins come back out in the 2-3 zone. Stretched out there. They leaving that middle open.
Legas' three is short, grabs his own rebound, and finishes.
Body control, attack you right in your chest. No fear going in there. Yeah, just follow your shot, kids. That's what Leggett does right there, and just go right in there, absorb the contact, keeps his focus, doesn't panic, and finishes.
Leggett in double figures with 12 on the night. He's been so efficient, not just tonight, but the entire season for the Panthers. Came into this game shooting 49% from the field, and Leggett 4 of 7 shooting in this game.
I'll tell you one thing, in those ACC games on the road, when you can't seem to throw it in the ocean, you're going to need a guy that can make offense quick, going to the basket, and Leggett is going to be that guy for him. Create off the dribble, get to the basket, get to the free throw line. He's going to be really important during those times.
Zach Austin grabs his 5th rebound of the night. And Carrington putting his ball handling on display, now finds Guillermo Diaz-Graham. Diaz-Graham went up hard and got fouled hard.
Nice move by Diaz-Graham. Attack the basket, get to the free throw line. I don't know if Workman is pleased with that call, though.
Well, Workman's now got 4 fouls. We talked about him in the open. If Jacksonville was going to have any shot tonight, they needed a big performance from the grad student Bryce Workman, but 4 points, 0 for 3 from the field, and 4 fouls for Workman.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, he has to go against Federico, Austin, Henson, Diaz-Graham twins. It's a lot of bodies the Panthers can throw at him. It's a tall task.
Athletic finish there from Dewan Pruitt for Jacksonville. He gets the foul call and will head to the line. By the way, Panthers shooting a lot better from the line themselves tonight, as we get one more look at the feed to Pruitt. And Pitt came into this game with just a 59% free throw percentage on the season. That was the worst in the ACC and 323rd nationally coming into this game. A lot better in that area tonight. 11 of 14 the Panthers are. Austin drives baseline, dishes to Henson. And rebound by the Dolphins. Panthers thought they were out of bounds, but no call. Black looking for an option. Finds Pruitt with 11 to shoot. And a travel.
You know, another guy we haven't talked a lot about is McCray.
Yeah.
You know, the Panthers have done a really good job at, you know, keeping him at bay. He's a guy from Wake Forest, so he's used to this kind of ACC play. Not a guy that would be timid at all, but can't seem to get it going.
McCray Came into tonight averaging 17 points per game on the season. He is 0 for 4 from the field in this one. And they try Pruitt again, and it's tapped away by Austin. And they do get Austin for the foul. And just over 3 minutes into the second half, another personal foul called on the Panthers. And that makes it 4 on the team for Pitt just a few minutes into this second period. Still nothing doing for the Dolphins from three-point range, as Jorge Diaz-Graham helped up by Jordan Mincy over by the Jacksonville bench.
Mincy's still coaching hard over there, knowing he'll be right back in the Pittsburgh area in a week.
Hinson attempted the alley-oop pass to Guillermo Diaz-Graham, who was fouled. But that's right, Jacksonville with about a week off after this one, and then they come right back to Pittsburgh playing a tournament over in Moon Township at Robert Morris. They'll take on RMU before playing Fairleigh Dickinson. Of course, Fairleigh Dickinson coming off the magic of last year's NCAA tournament victory over Purdue. Interesting that last year Pitt played Fairleigh Dickinson, Julius, in this building, and talked to Tobin Anderson before that game, and never did I think that Fairleigh Dickinson would become as prominent as they did later in that season.
I think it's a testament to the game changing. It's going to be hard when you have those traditional old school bigs to win in the ACC tournament. That's my opinion, but I'm sticking to it. You know, these quicker stretch 4 and 5s is going to expose those guys on the other end. You need guys like the Diaz-Graham twins that can run the floor, defend on the wing. The game's changed.
Well, you tried the spin move, would have been an excellent finish. And Guillermo, especially, as you mentioned, the Twins having a great outing tonight. 14 points, 5 of 6 from the field for Guillermo Diaz-Graham. Panthers with 3 players in double figures. Guillermo's one of them. They lead by 32 here in the second half at the Pitt. Well, the Panthers happy to see 14 points from Guillermo Diaz-Graham tonight in just 11 minutes. Julius, he's been really efficient.
He got a couple of Christmas gifts on his first 4 points, but from there it was all work, keeping his balance there, getting the tip in right there and finishing at the rim. You know, just focus, man. We're talking about a guy 6'11", 7 feet tall, who's a very skilled player, so he has a very high ceiling for the Panthers.
Yeah, you definitely see glimpses of what he can be, and it's nights like this that are really exciting. And if he can continue to perform as he has tonight and start to carry that into some tougher opponents. Remember, the next 5 for the Panthers are all against power conference teams. And Julius, it's during that stretch where we'll really start to learn a lot about this team.
Without a doubt, how are they going to handle some adversity?
Especially with the new backcourt, Bub Carrington, Jalen Lowe, both freshmen, Ishmael Leggett, the transfer from Rhode Island. How will those guys perform when they have some tougher tests starting next week when they take on Florida at the Barclays Center?
I'll tell you what, Florida will know how to take a punch. They'll know how to deliver one as well. So they're not going to lay down just because you go on a little 10-0 run or what have you. It's definitely going to be a different story.
Guillermo to Lowe, fires from the wing. Jalen Lowe buries it. He gets his first bucket of the night.
That young man is as cool as the other side of the pillow. Just keeps his composure. Also plays with a lot of confidence for a young guy.
Yeah, Jeff Capel talked about his performance Monday, by far the best game of his collegiate career so far against Florida Gulf Coast. Said he just wasn't pressed about scoring. As a freshman, a lot of the time, that's how you judge yourself, is by the points category. Coach Capel said he put pressure on himself instead of just being a playmaker, which is what he did Monday, just taking the plays that were there for him, and it worked out well. Freshman to freshman, and the three is good for Carrington. Jorge with the block.
How about that for some rotation defense?
Now Guillermo back to Carrington. Three in the air. That's good.
That is quite the sequence. Block on one end, Carrington back-to-back threes. He's shooting the three at such a high clip for a freshman.
It is just beautiful basketball, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I mean, this is a guy that has a run and start at you, too. He's not flat-footed. Both of you are going, you know, got to step and then kick out, be unselfish. He could have been thirsty and kept that one. I got the block on one end. You know, I'm keeping this one. But he kicked it out to his guy, who just made one smart decision.
Well, Guillermo showing that he can pass as well. He's got the 14 points, 6 boards, and a great dish. And like you've continued to talk about, JP, if you've got a 7-footer who can pass like that, shoot efficiently, that's going to be dangerous.
Yes, sir. Especially when you put him in a two-man game with Carrington, the way he's shooting, it's going to be very difficult. Surrounded by Carrington, Diaz, Graham, Henson, Leggett. I mean, they just complement each other so well.
Hey, though, since you've been calling me out, I got to call you out. It was Jorge with the block, Guillermo with the assist.
Okay, yeah, I got you. You know, I can't tell them apart yet.
Hey, neither can I. I'm thankful for jersey numbers. That's Jorge that time, stepped in to try and take a charge. They call a block instead. And Jeff Capel is irate. And this is what we alluded to earlier, Julius. Despite a 37-point lead when you're a coach and you see some of these calls going against you, it's still frustrating.
You know, I think he's trying to keep his team, you know, focused, coach this all the way to the end, because like you said, they're playing a tough opponent, you know, in Florida next, coming up in Brooklyn. So, I mean, he was kind of sideways right there.
A little sideways, but he did look set, I think.
Set, but you got to take it. You got to take it all the way. I don't know. I might have to agree with the referee right there. You got to take it with your chest. You can't, like, pause sideways.
Well, I'll let you talk to Jeff
That's
Capel.
That's a 50-50. You know, I can understand both. I can understand why Coach Capel was upset, but I understand the referee point of view as well.
Hey, I'll give him credit. I think it's one of the hardest calls to make in sports. You know,
absolutely.
You look at football, pass interference, and you know, some of the penalties in the other sport, but the block charge in basketball, I think, is, in real time, one of the most difficult calls to make.
For sure. I agree with you 100%. Although I'm not really a fan of the charge, like if it was up to me, I would take it out of the game altogether, because I especially when a guy is in the air. There's no way that a guy can take flight and you stand there. That's just not a basketball play to me.
So how do you defend that then without fouling?
You got to get up there and block it. Yeah. We've seen guys get contested at the rim time after time tonight. Am I right? So why not go up there to block it? Either you get dunked on or you let him dunk it. But to stand there with a guy is in the air and try to take a charge, I think is not a safe play. It should be taken out of the game.
So if Jalen Lowe finds himself under the basket in practice guarding Jorge Diaz-Graham, who's about to go up for a dunk, what should Jalen Lowe do?
Get dunked on. That's just what it's going to be. Either get out the way, get dunked on, but you shouldn't be put in that situation. I think it's when we watched Ja Morant get hurt on a play like that, we're seeing so many players in the air and a guy just stand there when you should be. I mean, you at a Division I or NBA level, you know, make a play or don't.
Well, the Panthers have been working on physicality around the rim and in the paint, and Jeff Capel mentioned one of the things for them is that they don't play against interior physicality in practice, and that's what they felt that Papa Conti was going to bring for them. So not only hurts them in game situations, but felt that Conti provided that physicality and that aggression on the inside to be able to prepare some of the Panther bigs for some of the ACC opponents they'll face.
But until then, they had to rely on the OG Gilbert Brown, who got that grown man strength on the Panther bench. He has to fill in and get the job done for him.
Panthers with 3 to shoot here. Leggett pull-up triple. Not that time, but Austin is just everywhere, rebounding the basketball and distributing. Jalen Lowe got a mismatch, finds Leggett in the corner. Cross court, Austin for 3. Off front iron. Loose ball, Jorge wins it back, tips to Austin. Now Lowe, Panthers try to reset, calm things down. Here goes Lowe, dish out to Leggett. Baseline drive, and he's fouled. Jeff Capel out on the floor, as you can see. A lot of physicality from Jacksonville tonight. Jeff Capel has not been pleased with the way this game has been officiated. Jordan Mincy trying to calm things down. And you can tell up 35, Jeff Capel is not worried about the results of this game. He's worried about the safety of his own team. And in a game that really has already been decided, there's just no need for any extra aggressive fouls. And hopefully things can get cleaned up here in the Pitt. Back in Pittsburgh and can provide some clarity on the sequence before the break. Jeff Capel did receive a technical foul for coming out onto the floor and arguing this right here. You can see Stephon Payne of Jacksonville really not even going for the ball in challenging Ishmael Leggett's shot. Jeff Capel was not happy about that. So technical foul called as Marcus Nyblack is on the line, but Payne receives a flagrant 1 as well. So a foul on each side. Flagrant 1 is called on Payne, and Capel gets the tee for coming out and disputing.
As he should. You got to protect your teammates. Your players. He didn't like the foul, you know. Go out there and show him. Sometimes the technical foul is worth it.
And again, as we noted before the break, Julius, this is, for Jeff Capel, not about the outcome of this game. Obviously, the Panthers have this thing won with 11.5 minutes left. He is worried about his players, and as you said, protecting his players in a game that's already in hand. And he knew going into this one that Jacksonville was a physical team, talked to us about that, and even compared them to some West Virginia teams that he remembers just because of how physical they are. But I don't think he imagined it getting this out of hand in a game that's a 36-point margin.
It's still early in the season also. You know, you got to continue to take one possession at a time. Just keep getting better and better. Knowing that it's a long season, you're obviously not playing your best basketball right now. You want to continue to get better. This is for every team in the country.
Panthers still with a few starters out on the floor. Zach Austin, Ishmael Leggett, and Federico. Imagine as we get closer towards the end here, Jeff Capel going to utilize his bench. couple substitutions now as Guillermo Diaz-Graham, William Jeffress, and Bub Carrington will all step on for the Panthers. Jeff Capel has praised his team's depth this season. Says he likes the fact that he has so many good players that push each other. He wants them to make him have to make difficult decisions and creates really intense practices. Feels very confident, at least, that the Panthers are 9 deep, possibly 10. Here is Carrington with 12 to shoot.
You know, they always say the game is for the players, practice is for the coaches.
Pull-up triple. Off target. And Panthers' shooting percentage has fallen below 30% in this second half after shooting so efficiently in the first half. Panthers 18 of 38 from the field in half number 1 and just 5 for 20 here in the second. Here's Jeffress. Now Jorge in the corner. Passes to his brother. Back to Jorge!
I think they like the give and go, the two of them. We've seen this before.
I remember seeing that in the NCAA tournament last season.
Yes, sir.
I think it was the first round against Iowa State. That two-man game between Jorge and his brother Guillermo. Pretty thing to see.
Their parents did a good job teaching them how to share. The finish at the rim. Two skilled gentlemen.
What a tandem they are.
Yes, sir.
And they stayed so committed to staying at Pitt and going through the summer plan that Jeff Capel and the staff had for them. Mentioned putting on that weight, working out, staying in the gym, and preparing for this 2023-24 season. And Guillermo Diaz-Graham mentioned a point last year, speaking of March Madness, after the win in the first 4 over Mississippi State, said he just wanted to hit the floor and start crying because it was so beautiful. And said, sure, there were times in that game he felt overwhelmed, but by the end of it, it was so rewarding for Guillermo Diaz-Graham and the rest of the Panthers. And a night I'm sure none of the players on that team will ever forget, as Pitt was able to get the NCAA tournament win and advance on to the round of 64. Of course, ended up winning another game against Iowa State. Held the Cyclones to under 50 points. Julius, what was going through your head as an alumni watching the team in the tournament last year?
You know, it was a great feeling for a few years, you know, the program being down. It was nothing negative being said. It was just a gray cloud over the program. And to just see them, you know, push all of that to the side and finally get back and string off a couple of wins. It's a testament. I just kudos to Coach Capel.
Thought Jeff Capel had a really unique perspective on it. Continue, JP.
No, I just get much respect to him to have to go through that and weather the storm and not give up and continue to fight, put the pieces together. Even though, you know, all of the talks and the negativity, you know, it was Pittsburgh. They used to winning. You're not winning, they're going to let you hear it. So,
that's right.
You know, he was no different. He was no exception to that. So, but to hear all of that, continue to fight, continue to find players, and the portal, the changes in basketball as a whole, and he figured it out and got it done. I think it was well-deserved. So I'm probably more proud of, you know, for him just to get through and make it through. It says a lot about him.
Always appreciate Jeff Capel's honesty when we talked to him before games, and he was completely candid with us and said the first 4 years here were really, really hard. And hard on him because it made him question himself. It seemed like every move he made was wrong, and he thought, am I just wrong in all of my evaluations? And said in year 4, having Demarius Burton have to undergo a knee procedure, Nike Sabandi tears his ACL, just seemed like it was one thing after another. And then they get into year 5, which of course was last year, and they start 1-3. They come home after the tournament in New York City, and they're down at the half here in this building against Alabama State. And he's thinking to himself, am I this wrong? But then they went and beat Northwestern on the road, and he said that's where it happened. They felt the team come together, followed that up by beating NC State on the road, and then everyone started to feel it again, and the Panthers started to string together some momentum that, of course, led to the end of season magic that they had.
Well, if he was wrong then, I'll tell you one thing that he is so incredibly right about, and that's recruiting Bub Carrington. I mean, if he hasn't shown you that was, as of right now, Bub Carrington is making me look like I wasn't so crazy comparing him to the Sean Millers and the Brandon Knights and Kyle Krausers and Trey Woodalls and all of those guys that came before. In fact, I mean, he keep this up, he might be at the top of that list.
Well, I got to give you credit because you said it early, and I was a little bit skeptical. But through 3.5, almost 4 games here, he's lived up to the hype.
Watching how poised he is, playing a point guard position. And, the one thing Coach Capel said about him and, how smart he is and the time that he put in watching film only makes me even more comfortable, making a statement like that, knowing that this kid is just going to continue to improve.
Carrington's got 15 tonight, double figures in all 4 collegiate games for him so far. Panthers up big. All right, Julius, I'm going to put you on the spot. Bub Carrington is the best Pitt freshman since
Bub Carrington. I have to give it to him.
He's
Nobody's
special,
never started their career with a triple-double by default. He's at the top of the list.
Yeah, unbelievable performance from this guy. Through 4 games, he's got 15 tonight, and just noticed during the break, Julius, 5 of 7 from three-point range tonight.
Coming in at 47%, I mean, I didn't think he can shoot this well. I didn't think he would shoot this well. I thought he would be jittery, something like a freshman. Yeah. But he doesn't seem to have any of those traits. He's cool, calm, collected. So, I mean, just much praise to him, and he'll continue to get better.
I thought it stood out, our conversation with Jacksonville head coach Jordan Mincy. We were asking him about how he can slow down Carrington, and he said, I don't think he'll be a guy that stays in college long. He's a 3-level scorer, got a triple-double in his first game. There is a lot of NBA potential in number 7 for the Panthers.
I mean, he's showing that he can play the point guard position. I think that's what's huge. The fact that he can shoot well, he can handle it, and he has that length. I mean, he just has the makeup of an NBA point guard.
Jeff Capel said he's always been a gym rat, wants to get better, very smart, and that means book smart and basketball smart too, and able to pick things up really quickly, makes reads quickly, and for his age just has an incredible feel for what the defense is doing. He sees the floor differently, and I enjoyed this quote from Coach Capel. He said, I'm not going to say I've been surprised, but I've really been impressed.
Well, he had to see something. He had to show him that he can play. He didn't think that he knew that he can play the point guard, but not this well. I mean, come on. Usually, point guards are supposed to struggle when they take this stuff. That's the hardest position on the floor. You're not supposed to make it look good. It doesn't matter. You playing against guys who've been here for a while. The learning curve has nothing to do with your athletic abilities between your ears. And the game just still looks, slow motion for him. Like he's processing everything as if he's been here 2-3 years already.
Well, and I love that you point out the versatility too, because even when Lowe comes on and he starts to become more of the ball dominant point guard, they don't miss a beat. Carrington is perfectly comfortable in either role when Lowe is on or off the floor. He's an impressive shooter, passer. He's shown his ability to rebound as well, and can't say enough about the freshman through 4 games. And Here he is again. Fakes, takes. Back iron that time. 5 for 8, I would say. Still a good performance from three-point range.
Without a doubt. Hewitt, Lowe, and Carrington out there together. I kind of like it.
We haven't talked too much about Michael Hewitt Jr., but he's gotten some time tonight. Grad student from Fayetteville, North Carolina is Hewitt, as the Panthers get another 3 from Blake Hinson, who was electric in the first half. Hasn't gotten as much playing time here in the second. Of course, they haven't needed him. And he's up to 25 on the night.
Welcome to the party, Mr. McCray. The Dolphins need to get him going, you know, regardless of the score. He's one of their main guys. It'd be nice to see him get a rhythm going.
Jorge Diaz-Graham starting to chip in. He's up to 5 to a 4 from the field. And he grabs a rebound. Carrington setting up his offense. Penetrates, strong take, draws the foul, hits the deck, and he'll head to the line.
Nice strong move, driving to his left. Showing a creativity off the dribble, feeling like this is a mismatch.
Carrington has had Pitt ties for a while. His father actually coached Jamel Artis from age 10 through high school, and if you've been a Panther basketball fan for a while, of course, remember Jamel Artis, key player for Pittsburgh just about 6-7 years ago. Played in AAU for Team Mello. That's why he wears number 7 for the Panthers. Dad goes by Bub. He's Lil Bub. And making that long sleeves underneath the jersey look pretty iconic here.
I mean, how about the nerve to rock number 7 and come out here and almost have the kind of impact that Carmelo had as a freshman. I remember his first game in Madison Square Garden as a freshman. He put on a show. And there's McCray.
Yeah, McCray starting to come alive. Unfortunately for Jacksonville, too little too late. He does have 9 points. But all 9 for McCray coming here in the second half. Low drives, dishes. Austin back to Low. Jab step. 8 to shoot. Austin fires a 3. Nylon. Dunk there from Donovan Rivers for Jacksonville. Jalen Lowe, such a calm presence running the point for the Panthers, who now lead by 37. What do you take, Julius? What can you bring into next week? They've got Florida, then they'll have either Baylor or Oregon State, and continues to get tougher. Missouri in the ACC SEC Challenge. That one will be here in this building on November 28th on ESPNU. Then you've got that random ACC game sprinkled into early December, which I know you love, against Clemson.
Yes, sir. I think, you know, the main thing is last game, it seemed as if they got punched in the face a little bit and they handled it, but it wasn't a team like Florida or a Power 5, you know, opponent that they're going to see. So I think that's the main thing. You know, how are they going to respond to adversity? Because obviously they're going to run into it when another team go on those 10-0 runs in a hostile environment. What is that going to look like? Are they going to start to panic? Are they going to start playing hero ball? Are they going to still trust each other when everything isn't going their way?
And that's why we talked about earlier, fans, coaches, everyone surrounding the program sure to learn a lot about the team in that 5-game stretch coming up where they play consecutive power conference opponents in all 5 games on the upcoming schedule for the Panthers. Guillermo, spin move in the post. Looked like he might have gotten poked in the eye as ball's tipped out of bounds. 3.5 to play from the beat. Panthers wire to wire ahead. Mentioned Bub Carrington's efficiency from 3-point range. He's 5 for 8. The team is 13 for 31. Julius, the offense has been tremendous tonight and really all season for the Panthers.
Yeah, stretching the floor makes it difficult to get in the gaps and play defense on the drives. And then so they complement shooting the ball so well from 3 with having a guy like Leggett chew you up by getting to the basket. So, you know, the balance is really well.
Yeah, we asked Jeff Capel about that before the season as well. They had some 3-point shooters last season that they've lost, including Greg Elliott, Nike Sabandi. Nelly Cummings was good for an occasional 3. So we said, do you feel like the 3-point ball will be just as efficient for you this year? And he was confident. He knew he had guys who could come in and shoot it. Obviously, Bub Carrington can. Michael Hewitt Jr., who's on the floor now, is good for a 3 every so often. We've talked about Zach Austin, what he's done at High Point. Ishmael Leggett coming in. And, of course, can't forget about the returning Blake Hinson, too.
Yeah, when he said that, I have to be honest and say I didn't believe him.
Yeah.
Because that was just a lot to lose. A lot of experience. Jamarius Burton. I mean, Nelly Cummins. It was a lot of experience to lose. I just couldn't really see them really, you know, filling those shoes. But they're doing a good job so far.
Hewitt Jr.'s 3 off target, but the tip in by Guillermo Diaz-Graham, who is up to 16 points. A new career high for Guillermo, the sophomore. Low dishes Guillermo Diaz-Graham. He buries it. Guillermo on fire tonight in Pittsburgh. What a night for the Spanish sophomore.
I mean, there's nothing you can do. You have 2 shooters coming off the handoff. You have to help. A shooter is coming off, and it's going to leave him open every single time. And I mean, it's just you have to pick your poison.
Jeffress the takeaway. Look out. JP through 4 games. Very little to complain about.
You know, outside of shooting free throws a little poorly coming into this game, not a lot to complain about, but you love to see this guy coming back after sitting out all last year due to injury.
KJ Marshall from the logo. Place would have erupted if that had gone down.
But to go back to William Jeffress for a minute, you know, after sitting out all year last year, I'm sure it's disappointing for him. His mental, you know, I'm sure it was a rough time for him, but now he's back, body looking better than ever, looking strong. Understand his role, accepting his role. I think I read a quote. He said he just want to win. You know, that's the kind of mentality you need you know, from a guy who's been around for a while. He's been here for those low times. He remember what that feel like, and he just want to win.
Yeah, don't forget, he was a really highly touted guy out of high school from Erie and chose Pitt over Baylor, Memphis, Villanova, among some others as well. Came to Pitt, and again, that type of guy that impacts the game in so many ways beyond scoring. What a feed from Marshall to Guillermo. Panthers hanging 103 on Jacksonville tonight. You know, it's hard to believe, JP, that this team was picked to finish 9th in the ACC. And, of course, a lot of season left. But through 4 games, they looked like one of the top 5 or 6 in the conference at least.
You know, that's why I put 0 stock into preseason rankings.
Yeah.
You remember last year, North Carolina, no disrespect to them, was up there, but finished unranked. So you can't put any stock into those preseason rankings.
This Panther team looks dangerous, and they look like they're going to be a problem for the rest of the ACC this year. And as we've continued to note, the next 5 games going to be very important. How much can they carry this into some tougher tests?
And they get one right away against Florida, a team that easily go 9 deep. So it's not going to be, you know, one of those teams. You talk about Pitt, you talk about the Panthers having almost a 10-man rotation. Well, the Florida's not that far behind, if they're behind at all.
And the tough ACC games, too, are really right around the corner. End of December will be here before we know it. They're on the road at Syracuse December 30th, and then they play North Carolina and Duke, both here, both in the first 10 days of January. It's fun to have good college basketball back.
Without a doubt. You know, with all of the different ways you can watch with the ESPN pluses and all of that stuff, you know, the ACC networks, and I mean, they make it so easy for you to be able to watch all of these games. You can just sit at home, be a couch potato for the entire night.
Are the bosses paying you extra for this?
For this one, listen, they paying me to have the best seat in the house.
Give them a shout out here end of game. Doing some free advertising, aren't you?
You know it. You know it. I know my job.
Well, a 51-point victory for the Pitt Panthers as Jeff Capel leads his team to a 4-0 start, led by 25 points from Blake Hinson, a career-high 23 for Guillermo Diaz-Graham, and for the first time since the early 90s, the Panthers have put up 85-plus in 4 consecutive games.
Panthers have to keep, you know, their minds stay humble. Don't let the ego start to creep in once things start, you know, continue to go well. And this, you know, stay a team on a mission. Keep the goal to go. Dolphins is going to have to find a way to get McCray going because they're definitely going to need him all season long.
Panther season continues Wednesday in Brooklyn for the preseason NIT against Florida. For my tremendous analyst, Julius Page, our outstanding crew, led by producer Sarah Johnson and director Tristan Russell, Jason Earl saying so long from the Peterson Event Center. Final score, Pittsburgh 107, Jacksonville 56, as the Panthers improve to 4-0.